ever since I became a coach, I have been doing many small partnerships or collaborations with people to do something together, to write a book together, report together, to do something on the podcast together. And I can never forget this one conversation that I want to share with you today. So this another coach reached out to me proposing a collaboration, and for that they scheduled a 30 minutes meeting with me. And I went into the meeting thinking about going to talk about the collaboration, how will we divide the work, how will we divide what we get out of it, how will we plan and everything. And the meeting starts, and this person starts asking about my son. So because we were meeting after a while, so they started asking about my family, did I went to India or not, and stuff like that. Around 10 minutes went in that, and I was wondering when will they bring the real topic. And then they started to ask me about my coaching business. They started to ask me about my motivation for doing what I'm doing, and what are my plans in the future, and then also the reasoning behind it, right? Why do I want to take the company in that direction and not in that direction? And at the same time, they were sharing, right, what motivates them, what drives them. And 25 minutes of that 30-minute meeting was already gone in that. And I was wondering, right, what is this meeting, right? Is this meeting just to get to know each other, or are we really going to talk about the agenda which we set? And what happened next was amazing. I could not have prepared myself for that. In the last 5 minutes of the meeting, this person made me an offer which I cannot refuse. And made me an offer because they knew so much about me. They knew so much about what my motivations were. They were able to present an agreement or an offer to me which entirely fit into my plans, my visions, and what I cared about. There was nothing which we had to negotiate. There was nothing which we had to argue. There was nothing which we had to hide, because the first 25 minutes we had spoken about what each of us care about, what matters to each of us, and why are we taking our own businesses, our coaching practices in the direction that we were taking. And that one conversation taught me an important lesson, that before talking about action, before talking about the doing, before talking about tactical, the conversation which creates a context, the conversation which creates a relationship is so much important. I have worked in a very fast-paced industry for 16 to 17 years, and there has always been a bias for action. So we used to go directly into the meat of the stuff without really addressing who is talking. And then that would lead to a lot of friction often, a lot of different points of view, disagreements. But what I learned by that conversation was that if we focus on the context, if we focus on setting up the relationship, if we focus on really understanding what each of us want, what are we desiring, then that makes any collaboration, any teamwork so much easier. And even in the case of when something goes wrong, when there is a disagreement, it makes the whole process so smooth, because now we are connected in a way that two people become one, and the project becomes a real joint project, a collaboration, rather than just two parties trying to get their way or trying to find a deal which works for them, but without ever really talking about what is it that they care about and they want from that. But because we spent the first 25 minutes really listening and understanding to each other, the last 5 minutes was just a formality. It was like we knew what we had to do, and the moment this person presented me an offer, there was very little to change because it was a perfect offer. So I'm sharing this because the conversation which creates the context and the conversation which sets up the relationship is so much more important. Are you focusing on the relationship, or are you focusing on the project, the task, the deadline, the metrics? If you are avoiding the relationship, if you are keeping something hidden, and if the other person is keeping something hidden, maybe that is a huge opportunity to improve the productivity, to improve the output, by not even talking about the output, not even talking about the tactical stuff. Think about it.